security. We've got quite strict or stringent data security issues in South Africa. I don't know why you're fiddling, if you could just address that.
Yes, sure. We're fully NDAA compliant. So we're a US-based company. So it's very strict on compliance. We're also GDPR compliant. All of the links that are established between recorders and the client are 256-bit encrypted. There's no master passwords to get into our system. Each level is independently protected. We have two-factor authentication. We also can enforce password strength depending on how hard we want to make a password length for a particular user to get into. So we've done absolutely everything we can. From a back-end system, we run on AWS infrastructure, which is as secure as we can get it. The servers are based in the US. We have a relay server in South Africa to improve the performance. So you'll be talking to the relay server in South Africa. Does that answer the question, Francois?
Yeah, perfect. I think the question also, a lot of these systems are sending information over the internet to weird foreign countries, but you guys will address that as you go through on your architecture. And you have mentioned that you don't do that. Your video stays on site.
The video stays on site. So that's one of the really nice things. You saw those cloud models that I showed you earlier. You're sending those often to foreign servers that you have no control over. All of the video that I'm going to show you is on site. We're taking it off-site and putting it into our viewing platform. I'll tell you when the video is in the cloud and I'll show you, and that's more for sharing than it is for storage. So none of the video leaves the local site, so the security is there. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll show you a demonstration. I've already logged in and it takes me to this panel here, and these are the sites that I would have access to. If you were a channel partner, you could have access to all of your customers' site, and with special user rights, you could manage their sites for them. In this case here, I'm not a channel partner. I've just got access to our demo sites here. And you can see I've got my name here. I've got another one here. And here's our demo. It's orange because it says these are the sites that I have control over or access to, or that I've been granted access to. And I'll show you a little bit more about user rights and what you can and can't do. But just to get started, just to give you a little bit of a feel for how this works, I've clicked onto that one site and it takes me now into a blue bar here. So this says now I'm in a location where there's 3 recorders. And you can see here that I've got lots of menus here, which I'll go through. There's a lot of features here. It's hard to tell just looking at the screen, but there's a lot going on here. And if I wanted to just click and view some cameras, I just simply click connect on this particular site here. I just pick the first one. How it comes up. Now, I hope that WebEx is doing us justice, but I can tell you it's super fast here. The video comes through at full frame rate. If it's choppy and whatever it is, I can guarantee you it's not at my end. It'll be due to the WebEx. But I hope you can see now that the video has already come up. We're not streaming low resolution here, so I've left the OpenEye here. We're streaming at multi-megapixel resolution. I think it's 4 or 5 megapixels streaming in here for this car park. And just to show you the type of customer that would use this in a commercial space wants access to their video very quickly. They want access to their sites very quickly. They want to be able to play back video, find stuff super quick. Let me show you what that would look like. So all I do here is I click on search. Now, remember I said to you, we haven't installed any software. And up until this point, we have not installed one piece of software. This is being managed from the cloud. This video is coming from the recorder based in our Washington State demo here that the server is US. You'll see that there's no fixed IP address. We don't have an IP address here at all. Okay, you see that we're relaying that video data through the OWS. Okay, so we don't have to worry about port forwarding and punching holes through firewalls. We've got access to multiple grid views, so I can set up the grid however I like. I can set up my streaming. I can turn it into automatic, or if I've got no bandwidth, I can go low quality, or we'll work it out for you on the fly. So it's very simple to use. There's not a lot of complexity here. And then we have tools that we build down the bottom here. And these tools will keep expanding as we improve the product and add more features. And I'll give you an example of one of these particular tools. If I click on this thumbnail one down the bottom right-hand corner here, left-hand corner, you'll see that it's giving me instant access to some thumbnails over a 24-hour period in this car park. Now, I don't know how quickly it showed up at your end, but here it was instant. And one of the feedback things we get is usually these web products are very slow, they're clunky, there's a lot of delay. I'm not seeing any delay here at all, and I hope you're seeing the same experience. It's super fast. And, you know, looking at a car park is a typical scenario that, you know, something that happened with a particular vehicle. In this case here, I can pick a car over the last 24 hours. This is our car park in the US. And say, for example, this one here on its own, I click on this particular car here. Now, I'm just clicking the tile, not specifically the car. And it's now said, we can bring that car into a 3-hour timeline. And you can see here that there's a car here and not here. So I just click on that same tile that still has the car. We're down to a 25-minute timeline. There's no car here, there's a car here. Click on that timeline again. You can see now we're down to a 3-minute. Click on that car again. Takes us instantaneously to the playback timeline. And now I can expand the timeline, bring it back, okay? And I will have now instant video of this car coming down. I've used video management systems all of my life, and I can tell you some hardwired systems don't perform as good as this does using a thin client without one piece of software installed. Now, I hope you're seeing this. I'm seeing it in real time. There's no jitteriness, there's no delay, it's quick. And you can see here the person's opening the door. If I wanted to zoom into the video, you can see we're not playing around with low resolution video here. It's actually very high resolution video. So we're not doing a demo in very low resolution to make it look like it's quick. You can see here the data's for you to see so that there's nothing there. The second thing customers ask for is, well, how quick can we export this footage? And this is the other benefit of this technology. All I do is export the footage, and I can pick between a single camera, multi-camera. I can take a video snapshot, so I can take a photo, or I can archive it off to one or more storage locations. In this case, to keep it simple for the demo, I just click single camera, and you can see here it gives me the start time for where my timeline is. And just to make it a little bit quicker for the interest of the demo and time, I'll make it 30 seconds. I can change the video quality on the fly. I can work out who my intended audience is for that video quality, and I can include audio. I click next, and then it says put in a title, and I might put utility car park. Okay, and then I could put a description, or I can export it to my local machine as well if I wanted to. But for this case, we're talking about the cloud, so let me start the export. Now you're probably wondering, where did that all go? It just looked like the screen returned to normal. You'll see this little icon has appeared here telling us that there's uploads in progress. If I click on this little icon that's appeared, you'll see another screen is presented now with the upload happening. And this is the upload manager. If there was 10 people uploading at the same time, what a great interface to manage all of those uploads. I can just highlight the camera there, and you can see it gives me a quick snapshot of what it is that I'm exporting. I can click on that actual line, and it gives me more of a larger view, and it gives me relevant detail for that specific snapshot. Now, just to show you that this is all happening in real time, you'll see that that is complete. What I'm going to do now is, if I wanted to share that footage, how easy would it be for me to share that footage? Let me just take you back one step. This is all web browser driven. There's no software installed yet, guys, so this is just out of the box. I click on video clips, and what you'll see is when this list populates in a few seconds, you'll see at the top of the list will be the one that we just exported. Okay, and there's the utility car park. Okay, and if I don't remember what it was, I can just highlight my mouse, and it will give me a snapshot of that. It's also got some notes there if I wanted to put some notes and some details of who's the owner of it. But to view that, I would just click on view. Now this video is in the cloud. So this is the only time that the video is in the cloud. Not before, not when we were showing it playing back and all of that, only at this point here. Okay, and so just bear with me, my internet's just a bit slow for the second. Yeah, my internet's just stopped for a second, guys. Can you still hear me? You can? There it is there. Sorry, my internet's just glitched up here. So here's the car coming into the car park. Okay, you'll see it there. I click play, and I don't know about you, but I can see it coming in real time. It's very smooth, very fluid. You'll see that car pulling up to the car park exactly as we watched it before. Now, if I were to do this on a traditional VMS and I wanted to save this or share it, I'd have to put it on a thumb drive, burn it to a DVD, or burn it somewhere, then try and email it off. We do that all from the interface of the cloud. So if I wanted to share this footage, I could just come in here and look up a particular user or add a manual user. In this case, I'll look up Henny because we know he exists as a person on the system. We click on Henny and now select, and as simple as that, now he's now in the list to receive it. We can put an expiration date on that footage. We can allow him to download the clip, and we'll put some text in there so that he knows what this is all about. And I'll share that with him. Okay, now Henny, you're hearing me now. Once you've received that video, could you just let us know and tell me when you viewed it, and we'll show the audience what happens once you've viewed that footage.
Sure.
And so
I've just viewed it already.
Yes, okay, beautiful. So you see here how it says view 0. I will know that Henny has viewed that when I refresh my screen. And you'll see there how quickly it's responded, and I've got the 1 there. So that just shows you how interactive this is. So if you're sharing video, you've now got an audit trail of how often someone has seen it, whether they've downloaded it, and he hasn't downloaded it yet. That's okay, you don't have to download it, Henny, but just to show the example of how quickly that works. Okay, now, you've seen how quick we can share video footage. We could do that to one person, to a group of people, and so on. And I'll show you that on the next one. So if I connect back into my site, let me show you what we do with Hanwha. And this is where it starts to get really exciting. If I wanted to search for some footage, and you saw the live and search is very simple, except instead of this time searching for a thumbnail, let's search for a particular event. Okay, and you see here are some of the analytics that we've included in our configuration. It's not limited to this. We do mask detection and a few other ones that Hanwha offer. If we, for example, we're looking for line crossing, it's a really easy one to show. And I wanted to do line crossing, and I might come back, I don't know, a day or so, and I might put in here, say 8 AM to 1 PM, something like that. And I click search. That metadata came back so quickly, it's faster than most hardwired systems. I haven't installed anything, guys. This is out of with Hanwha, straight out of the box. We haven't done anything crazy to get this going. And so you see here, we're getting a lot of events and tripwires, okay? And I can now keep scrolling down. Look at how many events we've populated through. Now, if I was looking for a specific event here, say for example, there was someone that came out of this doorway here, and I click on this event, you see how quickly it populates this screen here and gives me some thumbnails, and it tells me what it was. At 3:01, there was a line crossing at cafe entry. And you can see that it gives us some thumbnails, and that's what these blue dots are, of that person walking through. Now we've identified the person, we can click on play video, and bang, we're back at the playback console. And you can see how well that synchronized that person. If I bring my timeline back just a little bit here, you see that now I can play that person coming out of the door. Okay, yes, I can zoom in, yes, I can zoom out, and it's fluid at my end, guys. It's not missing a beat, it's super fluid. And then I can now export this event, okay, the same way we did the other one, and I'll just put in here 30 seconds, make it quick, you don't have to see all of that, we've seen this before, and I'll just pull event in the cafe, Hanwha, okay, because that's a Hanwha analytic that's picked that up, okay, and we can export that footage. We know that up the top here in a second is going to appear our upload manager, and it's going to be exporting that footage to the cloud. Okay, so just give it a second, you'll see that appear. There it is there. And if I highlight it, it'll tell you, there's the upload manager. Okay, now, while that's uploading, let's go back one step. You're familiar now with the video and where we store our video clips. These are the cloud video clips. As soon as it dumps that list down, okay, hopefully by then we would have uploaded that event. See how quick it is? It's in the cafe. I'll view that event. There it is there. Click play, and there's that person walking through. It's lightning fast. So what I'm going to do now is reshare this with Henny. Okay, I can look up one user or a group of users or just put in someone's email. So in this case, let me just put in Henny again. Okay, we select him. How easy is this? It just makes video sharing so easy. I'm not going to do any of the fancy stuff here for now. I'm just going to click share. And maybe Henny, while I'm doing this, just to give the audience maybe a bit of a feel for how it looks from your end, do you want to share your screen and we'll switch roles for a second and you can show what it looks like once you've received this video?
Yeah, sure. Give me a sec. Let me quickly do that. So I'm just quickly making myself the presenter here. Can you guys see my screen? Awesome. So I just received the email notification from the OpenEye service that notified me that there's a new link. So all I'm going to do is just click on it, and I should have access to the video clip. Don't know if it's coming through on the system as clear as on my side, but yeah, as we say, it's full 25 frames playing there. And then at the bottom, it will just show that I've got access and that Angelo has shared it to me today. All right. Angelo, if you don't mind, while I've got my screen shared, I'm just going to quickly go through the command station and show everybody what we can do from a installed application. Awesome. So I'm just going to get everything. Oh, thank you very much. Right, so the command station is what we refer to as that hard client. It gives us it's more aimed at your control room operators in a local facility or remote facility that's got more than one or multiple of these recording devices in the field that they need to monitor simultaneously, or if you might need some more, I want to say, functionality. You've got all of that control over here. So just to very quickly run through it, to show you guys, we've got access here to 2 of our NVRs. The green dots indicate that we are connected and monitoring them. We can obviously disconnect them if not needed. And then we've got some green icons indicating that these cameras are currently being viewed on this NVR. So what we also have is those layouts where you can create multiple views, different cameras and everything. And instead of having to go and create everything every time for each user, we can actually share this with all the users in the system. So you don't need to create the same thing over it. It eliminates that repetitiveness. So if we also look at the additional functionality we've got here is from a normal VMS, we've got those multi-tile views. What we can brag with is if you've got the internet facilities and also adequate computing power, you can go up to 81 cameras per screen. And keep in mind, we're not limited to a single screen. We can just add multiple tabs and push them to the next second and third screen. What we also have that you might have seen on the web application is the streaming ability, where we can force the operator to use low, medium, or high, or auto resolution. So this obviously caters to whatever internet needs you've got. We've also got then additionally the sequence functionality, where we can create sequences between our cameras, and then the audio, which we have the ability now to create two-way audio where we can hear and talk back to a camera in the field. So what you guys might have noticed while we're talking, this top tile flashes with some cameras. It's got a red bell there and it disappears after a few seconds. This is our alarm indicator to indicate that an alarm has occurred in the system, and it will show you that icon. So if you've missed it, you see there's a little button right here at the top that flashes red. Now, if we click on this, it will actually create a full list of all of the alerts that has been going on in the system. And it gives me the ability to see the live view of that camera, to see the playback of that camera, or to get more in detail alert information on that camera. So I'm just going to choose one of these and let's go into the alert details. So it opens it to the second tab, or You can, if you've got multiple screens, you can add this into a second or third screen. So in this one, it will give us a snapshot of the alert. It will give us the information of which camera, location, recorder, all of the information. What we'll also find is this little icon with the human head indicates that it's an analytic alert sent from the camera. And you would see I just missed it. It's actually just closed by one of the other guys already. So once that is done, you can just, you could have changed it. I can go add information to it, save it, and close it. But in this case, this alarm has just been managed. So all I'm going to do, I'm just going to close this, and it takes me back to my normal live view functionality. Now, very interestingly, what you also have that the hardline and command station give us is the ability to link cameras to each other. So if you've got a control room operator that needs to follow people down a perimeter or down a mall passage, and they don't know what the camera leading or proceeding from that one is, this is a very nice feature, because we can now hover your mouse over that little corner and it shows you that the camera to the left of this is that one, or the camera to the right of this is this one. So all we do, we just click on that link and it automatically take you to that camera. And then there's obviously a link back to the original camera. So very nice to quickly navigate through the system without having to know which camera follows which one. Obviously, in any video management system, you require a mapping functionality. So what we've got is the ability to draw different maps from a large map into different areas. And then we also have our different icons inside each map to indicate what type of camera, if it's a static or a PTZ camera. You would have noticed I've got two different colors for my cameras here. So what we've done is, because we're viewing two separate recording devices, we just use the different colors to indicate the different sites, to show you we can even in a single map create multiple cameras. Now, if you hover over a camera, it will show you a quick snapshot of that camera. Or in a case like this one, for instance, we hover over this camera, it will show us, oh, but there are 3 analytic events that we haven't acknowledged in this system yet. So instead of going to the active alerts, which we've done already, we're going to go into the playback. So what's going to happen is the playback engine will load in the background. It will go fetch that footage and it will give us access to that instantaneously. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to quickly drill down here on the timeline. Now, this customer specifically, what they do is they record a low quality continuous and a high quality on the event. So if we go slightly before the alarm, you would see that we've got this very low quality image. And as we play it, as soon as the alert is triggered, it will then instantaneously give us that high quality video, and we would then see the alerting device enter the scene. So if I pause this here, so a very unique feature that OpenEye gives us is what is called our pin manager or pin export. And what we can do is by clicking on this, we can select this incident. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go and create an export pin for this. We're going to call it, I'm going to call this one demo 01. And this will be our first incident. So 001, we create that. So once that's done, we can now either use the same camera, different cameras, multiple different cameras, doesn't matter. We can go and create a second pin. So in this case, we're going to go to the next alert. We're going to select that next alert, right click on it and create an export pin. The group is already created as demo 1, and we will make this our second camera in that list, and we create that. So once you've completed this, you can go to your pins manager. What the pins manager will do, it gives us that full group that has been exported. And what we can do now, you'll see there's the timeline indicated on the right-hand side with these green dots, which we've added into it. You can add or remove items that's of irrelevance. And what this does is this gives us the ability to export all of these video clips with all of the incidents selected into a single video file. Instead of having 2 or 3 files that you need to play in correct sequence, this does it now for you. And what is nice about this is we've got the ability to export this straight to the web service, or if you need to go straight to your local machine. But again, very similar functionality here as to what Angelo has demonstrated to us on the web client. Angelo, I think that's all I wanted to show very quickly. You can take over again if you want to.
Thank you, Henny. Thank you. No, that's great. You know, one of the things that's a bit frustrating is with this WebEx, it's a bit jumpy and slow. And, you know, when I'm doing the demo, I'm seeing it really smooth and fluid and a bit jumpy, and I just don't want the audience to think that that's the way it is. It's just, unfortunately, there's a delay in the video stream from the WebEx there, but when you actually, you know, see the product and use it yourself, you'll see how super fast it is. So I kind of feel like a deal because I'm saying it's super fast and I'm watching how yours was going a bit jumpy, but it's not like that at all. It is really fast. I'll just take over again if I can, Henny. Just bear with me a second. Okay, you can hear me now and see me now? See the screen?
Yes. Yes,
Oh,
you're
perfect.
back.
Excellent. Okay, so this is where we left off, guys. So we were here with this specific event. I've just left it as it was. Now, Henny showed you the installed thick line. So that's actually a product that we have installed on the machine. And the nice thing about that product is we don't charge for it. So there's no extra fees or charges or hidden gotchas. The only thing we charge is the monthly fee. That's it, it's flat. So what you've seen there is fully included. That one there is an installed product. Coming back to this here, none of this is installed. This is all part of the cloud. So this all gets updated automatically. You don't have to install anything. We update this once every 2 weeks. We do a full update of what's needed in the background here for functionality, performance enhancements, and so on. So what I was interested in is, Henny, you were showing how the alerts work and through the command station. Well, we actually still even have some of that functionality in the cloud. And you'll see hiding here in the corner of these two little icons. One is the bell icon and one is the health icon. And one of the things I got asked about hundreds of times was, do you have a dashboard product? Do you have something that can give me visibility of all of my systems, the functionality of my cameras, who's logging in, all of the alerts and so on? And the answer I have now for the first time is yes. And so here's what it looks like. We now have a full dashboard of our complete installation. And you can see here that we break it up into different categories. And you can see we've got the intrusion alarm set up on ours as well. So you can see there's 112 intrusion events. That could be anything from a PIR sensor to an alarm going off and so on, depends on how it's configured. And analytics as well. So I'll just step through a couple of these and just give you an idea of what they look like. So I'll click on health, and you can see here up come all of my health related items. And if I wanted to view one of these, I simply click on view. Now this looks very familiar to what Henny showed you just before on the command station. So we do this in the cloud as well. So now we have a full alert management system for particular health events that arise. So if a camera fails or whatever it is, and like Henny did, you can acknowledge it, not acknowledge it, put some comments in and so forth. So it works really, really well in the cloud as well. So you don't have to have the command station. The other one is analytics, and because analytics is the theme today with Hanwha, I want to show you what the analytics events look like. They'll all come up like this, depending on which one is there. We can highlight the mouse and say, these are analytics events that have come in. This is the one we're looking for. We click on view. It takes us into our alarm management panel for that specific alert. I can click on play, and then funnily enough, it jumps straight back to the timeline, which we're very familiar with. And I hope it's working as fast for you on this WebEx as it is for me. I'll zoom in the timeline. I can bring it back a tiny bit, okay, and then click play, and hopefully it's coming through really smooth, because for me, that's near on real time. It's saying it's 20 frames per second, and it's actually delivering 20 frames per second here at my end. So that's how quick it is to get the cameras to give us quick alerts that we can then search and filter through very easily. Now, you've seen the GUI, so I'm not going to take you through the GUI again. I want to show you some of the secret sauce that lies behind this product. Okay, so we talked about alerts. Let me show you what creating an alert looks like. So, and this is now harnessing the power of Edge Analytics and the Hanwha camera. Not specifically only that, but this is where I want to focus. And you can see here, I've got a list of alert history, active alerts. I'm not going to get into too much detail. What I want to do is create an alert rule. And so now what we can do from the cloud is manage a rule for every single one of our sites. So we can add this rule by simply clicking add rule, and it asks us, what type of rule would you like? And in this case, because we're talking about analytics today, let's click on analytics. And I want to show you how powerful this is. So if I do, let's just keep it as test, make it simple, click on create. You can see here we have an event group for the rule definition. So let's do a video alert. And what sort of event type is it? Well, these all look familiar, don't they? Because these are all the one on the Hanwha camera. So we'll say we want line crossing, but we want more than just line crossing. What else would we like to do? Well, we can pick another video analytic, and we can say we also want face detected. And then we also want another analytic, and you saw that Ruan talked about audio. So now we can use the audio in the OpenEye system, and we can say we wanted glass breakage. So if a line's been crossed, we pick up a face and the glass breaks, we've got an alert, and we can do something with it. Here's the schedule, okay? And here's how we make that alert active. So we get a push notification, or to make that part of our active alert, we click save. That's simple. For me to do this on a video management system, I'd have to log into some sort of management console. I'd have to do all the hard work to get in there. Then once I do that, then I have to set it up, and then it only applies for the one unit. Then I have to have a federated architecture to make it all work across multiple sites. Not anymore. I can say now, which cameras do I want to use to trigger this alert? And I'll say I'll add a camera. Here are the Hanwha cameras. Here's an AI camera, for example. We click on the Hanwha AI. It's now the only camera that we're going to listen to for that alert. And who do we want to notify of this specific alert? And you can see here that I can add a group of people or a single user. So if I wanted to send this alert out to 100 security guards, I could do that at the drop of a hat. Or I can add a specific user, and guess who we're going to use? No, here we're going to put in Henny. We put in Henny, and now Henny is going to receive this alert. But Henny used the command station, so we're going to click the client alert because he's using the full client, and he also uses his mobile phone, so we'll click on that too. So that's how he's going to get his alerts. And I'll take care of, and because I'm the creator of the rule, I'll take care of the emails. It's as simple as that. Now, Henny, I'm going to save you the pain just in case someone comes into the building screaming while the glass is breaking and a face is detected. You won't get any alerts. Okay, so that's how easy it is to set up a rule. Okay, and we've got umpteen different rules that we can create. So I showed you some of those, I showed you this one, but there's also lots of different other ones. So the next thing here, in the interest of time, is reporting. This is something that everybody has asked me for with multi-site installations, is how do I know my sites are okay? And so here are some standard dashboards, and we can create our own, and I'll show you what that looks like. I can come in here and say, here's a health and usage dashboard. Let's view this dashboard. And now it'll come down and say, where do you want to apply this dashboard to? I can go to all of my sites or just one specifically. Let's go to one specifically. It's got some attention that's required there. It says one recorder has an active health alert. There's a connection lost to camera. Okay, it tells us the device information, how many retention days we have. How many times do customers ask, how many retention days am I getting out of my recorders? Imagine trying to do that on a one-to-one basis. This, you can do it from the cloud for everything. The different remote client connections, how people are connecting, the status, the firmware, the unique views per day, the clips. You can see these recorders are extremely busy. And then it gives us statistics of the remote connections versus unique users. And I could click on here, for example, and say, well, I want to know who's using the system. I can show filters, and I can come in here and say, Henny, who's a user of our system. Okay, I want to see when Henny has been coming into our system. There he is there. He's had 8 remote connection sessions in the period. Okay, there he is there. This is how we got in, through mobile, iOS, through the web browser, and through the command station. That's how powerful it is to get this information from a dashboard. So if I come back to if I just step back to my dashboard here again, we click on the first site. We can also take things like snapshots. How many times do customers say, or people say, oh, the video quality is not there, someone's moved the camera, or the nighttime vision's got spider webs in front of it. We can get a full inventory list of all of the cameras, of all of the sites centrally here on one dashboard without you having to do anything. So these reports are really, really cool. So that's just one part of what we do. Now, if you wanted to create a new report, these are the type of reports that we have. We've got plenty of them. I don't have time to go through them today, but the FD team would be happy to show you those. And then once we've created all those alerts that you saw before, what can we do with all these alerts? Now, they could be IO alerts, they could be trigger alerts off the cameras, could be sensors, whatever it is. We can start to build these trend alerts for another dashboard. So you can see here we can have analytics, we can have alarms and so on. We can remove and add items, so we can make these graphs whatever we want them to. They're fully interactive. So now we're starting to get that business intelligence that Ruan was talking about on how the cameras can provide really granular detail about what's going on the greater systems. And this is our operating hours, and you can see when we've got people in the office, in our US office there. Okay, we're coming to the end, guys, so not much left now. I know we're short of time. So one of the big things about managing multi-site installations is how do you manage users? And you would have remembered from the beginning of my presentation, how do we manage users? Well, it's quite easy. If we have a look at users here under the management tab, you'll see we can look up any specific user that we like. And our favorite person today is Henny, and we can look up Henny. Now, we know that Henny is part of 2 user groups. Okay, his user type is full. This is when he was created. This was his last sign-in. What member of the groups is he from? Oops, someone's created a test group and added him in. I wonder who that was. Henny, I apologize. We'll take him out. He doesn't need to be a part of that. So that's how quickly it is to add and remove a person for a group. Now, this here is a big bugbear. If you're installing NVRs or you're putting in standard NVR products or video management systems, either you don't have the capability or it's really complex to make it happen. This is all done through the cloud. So now create a user group, and I'm going to show you how quick this is. It's almost unbelievable. It's that quick, and I just call it test to create a user group. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a user to this user group. Okay, and just wait for it to drop. We've got about 150, 200 users on this system. Okay, it'll drop down the list. Okay, there's Henny there. I'm going to put him in the user group. That's how easy it was. We do support Okta and ADFS as well if you don't want to do this manually. Then we say, what web services permission are we going to give him? Now, this is the stuff that is the realm of big VMS, the big, VMS companies that you're familiar with. This is how they start to manage their stuff, but you've got to do it on bare metal, not in the cloud. This is in the cloud without one piece of software, without a management server that has to be maintained, no worrying about SQL and Windows updates. So this is now the granular level we can control is web services permissions. And Francois, you asked about security before. We can enable 2-step verification. So we can enforce that for this particular group. Now I can say, Henny, now we're going to give you some access to some recorders. Now I can do it at an individual recorder level, or I can do it at a group level, right? So I created these recorder groups, and it might be elementary schools, for example. You're becoming the new security guard for the elementary schools, but I also want to add an ad hoc camera as well from a different group. So just because you're part of a group doesn't mean I can't add a camera for one specific location. Okay, so now we have Henny as part of a group called elementary schools plus the Madison HQ, and we're going to hide some cameras from Henny in that group that we've actually allocated because he doesn't need to have access to this specific camera here. So we're going to hide that from him. This is really simple, guys, and it's so simple that I've spent all my life working on very complex systems when you talk multi-site to do this. And then I talk about recorder permissions. So what recorder permissions will Henny have? Here are the things he has access to. Okay, and then the remote client permissions that he has. Once I click save, Henny will be able to log into this new group with the new authentication rights that he has instantly, regardless of how many recorders, sites, or cameras I've done, without one IP address, firewall, anything. Done, instant. Okay, the other thing I want towards the end now is the recorders. If you've got a lot of sites or a handful of sites out in the field, one of the hardest things is maintaining the sites. And the version of the software, making it cyber secure. A lot of people put Windows boxes out there with a VMS and say, great, it's cyber secure. The day you install it is the day that cyber security clock ticks when it's not updated. And a lot of people turn off the updates on the Windows type boxes because of it might crash the system, or they don't want it to be doing updates while it's recording. Well, guess what? You're opening up holes for cyber security. That's why we prefer Linux, because now it'll tell me the software version that's here and I can push an update out to that box at any time. And I don't have to worry about interdependencies like a Windows operating system. And so I can update 100 sites within minutes, not within days, weeks, or months. I know people that spend a day on a system to update it on some of the big VMS products, and they've got 300 systems. That's more than almost a year worth of updates. We can do it in minutes. It gives you the version. It tells you what the update's about, whether you want to install it or not. You don't have to, and so on and so forth. I can click on any one of my recorders, and I've got information about the information on that recorder. If I need technical support, the technical support will give me a one-time code. I click connect, they have access to my system so they can get in and sort out the problem from a granular perspective. Configuration files, how many times has a system crashed? You've lost the configuration files. That's okay, we store those in the cloud for you. Here they are, and we do it automatically. You don't have to do anything at all there. So that's that part there. Now, I want to show you something really special before I finish up and show you the mobile client, is what we do with the Hanwha camera. One of the big things about putting network cameras out over lots of sites is how do you manage them? And traditionally what people have done is they set up a remote desktop, they log into the computer that's on the same network, they log into the camera, then they put in the username and password, then they change the settings on that camera. Let me show you how well integrated we are with Hanwha. If I click on this little cogwheel in the top right-hand corner, and I wanted to modify the analytics on this Hanwha camera, I simply click on the camera. It takes me into the control interface for this on our system. We can change the image settings, the motion detection, the fisheye, all of that, no problem at all. But look at this. If I click on this link here, we're creating a custom, secure, encrypted tunnel to that camera. There's not an IP address to be found anywhere without you logging into that network. So someone asked about security. This is as secure as it gets. And you can see here now that I have full control of this camera through my authentication, through an encrypted link to change the analytic settings that I may not have been happy with. So I can come in here, I can change the analytic settings, and I can come in here and move the tripwires around, for example. Now, imagine being able to manage customer sites remotely for those integrators of you out there through one pane of glass. You know, that's what I said at the beginning. One pane of glass does the whole lot. This product took off in the US because of COVID, because they couldn't have technicians sitting out on site for days on end configuring cameras. They did it all remotely. So they would dump the boxes and basically run, because that would make it a lot easier for them. So that's a really powerful way to manage cameras through the one interface. Okay, so that's the end of OWS. I'd like to just take a moment to show you the mobile client, and then we'll be finished. This will take about 2 or 3 minutes, and then we're done. Then we'll hand over to questions. Okay, so this here, what you're looking at on my screen is an Android emulator. So for all intents and purposes, it emulates an Android phone. And you can see this is the OpenEye app. You can download the OpenEye app if you get access to a demo from FD, and it will look something like this. And you see here the same names are appearing that you saw in the web client. It's the same login details. Henny uses the same login details for whether he's using the mobile, the command station, or the mobile client. It's all exactly the same. And I want to show you how fast this is again, and I'm hopefully that the WebEx experience is just as quick for you as it is for me. But we can change the resolution stream dynamically, very quickly. We can view up to 6 cameras at a time, all streaming live. So I can flip between any one of these views very quickly. Okay, and then it pops up the view, and then what I can do is I can do a search. Now, in the next version, I can let you in on a bit of a secret. We'll be able to de-warp these cameras directly from the mobile client. So you'll be able to see 360 cameras completely de-warped. If I click on search, and I want to look, instead of a date and time, I click on an event. And because we're talking about analytics with the Hanwha today, let's pick on analytics. You saw me do the line crossing before, so I'll keep it consistent. Click on search. Nothing found because no one's there at this time of the morning. So let's put in a time that actually would work. It's a bit tricky trying to pretend to be an Android phone with a mouse. I'll get there. I'll make it 11 a.m. or something like that. It's very hard. I'm doing this with the mouse, guys. Try that. There we are. So you can see now how quickly it drops down that same metadata. And with your phone, you'd be able to use your finger. It's a lot easier than me fiddling around with the mouse. So you can see here that our team comes in very early in the morning because they service multiple time zones. That's our technical support office in there. And I get an instant list of all of the events. How quick is this? And I hope you're seeing the same experience. It's instant. So if I wanted to play this event, I simply click on play. It takes me to that event that I can play back. And then I can export.
Angelo?
Yes.
I mean, this is great. This is like a control room in your pocket. Like if you had events set up, could you pop them up? I mean, it's
yes.
not always going to be
In actual fact, yeah, I wish I had it, but on my Apple Watch, I actually get a snapshot of the image that caused the event of the person coming in through the door. And it says OpenEye with a picture of the image. So it's really quite cool. And on the phone, it has a drop-down banner that actually comes down and gives you that alert.
I think we nearly 15 minutes over now, and I mean, there's so much to go through the system and the simplicity. If I was a techie, this is a system I'd want to have on site. I just love the way how you seamlessly integrate into the Hanwha cameras and use the analytics, but also how you can control them through the interface. I was just thinking how many times I used as a techie things like TeamViewer or some of these other applications to try and get into a site and doing the port forwarding. And then remembering each camera had a different port, absolute nightmare. And I think people are still doing that. I think there's a lot of systems that are using RTSP and that are very management intensive. And I think what we've done here is we've looked at the market pricing and brought something not only that's very, very cost effective, but takes a lot of that extra labor cost of sending guys back and forth to install these applications and deploy these systems. So I'm going to there are a couple of questions. We have answered them. And I think we're going to have to do this again because I'm getting a lot of messages of people that couldn't attend and would like to attend and do it. But I'd just like to say thank you to all the panelists. Angelo, thanks. I'm sure it's late at night in Australia. Henny and Ruan, thank you so much. And I mean, thanks to Hanwha and come chat to us. I mean, the Hanwha cameras are so cost effective and there's an unbelievable offering of video analytics on the edge. That can help with remote monitoring, and then obviously the monthly subscription cost from OpenEye, getting a large VMS features at a monthly cost is phenomenal. So thank you everyone. Any questions, please mail us or contact me directly, and we will get back to you. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Thanks. Cheers. Bye.